So this is solo leveling, huh? Solo leveling was one of those things I was like hearing in my ear, like it was like a gnat, like how you hear some of those animes that you usually hear, like I don't know, like maybe Attack on Titan, or key phrase JJK, or key phrase Naruto, or Dragon Ball Z. And solo leveling was one of those things where I kept hearing, especially on the internet, and people were like really hyping up to be like pretty good. And I started thinking to myself, do I read the book? Nah, I ain't doing that. My reading schedule's so filled up, I don't have any room. Who the hell do you think I am? Albert Einstein? But I can't read like that anymore. That's an old and dead Jugo. That Jugo used to read like 80 fucking books in a row and be like, yeah, this is fine, this is okay. I really love watching and reading this, or reading some comic books or some shit like that. No, that guy's dead and gone. Nah, I'm just kidding. But with solo leveling, let's do an old classic we used to do on the channel. We'll go over the negatives first, and then we'll go over the positives. With this first episode so far, it does feel like I was a little bit of mid or predictability just for the first episode alone, right? And I felt this with the character Sung Jin-woo, the main character, because he does have a little bit of an average anime looking design, but at the same time they just did the classic thing of like, oh my god, this is the most weakest motherfucker ever to live in existence. This guy couldn't even lift 1 pound of singular of weight. This guy will never be strong. It'd be fucking impossible if that would ever happen in the history of ever. Also, quick sidetrack, because that is an interesting cliche, because they'll either go one of two ways. One, they'll hype you up in a way of like, oh my goodness, you're the best, holy shit, you've done this, that, this, and either die instantly or just be the coolest guy alive. Or they'll just like hype you up in the worst way possible, like, man, I fucking hate that guy. That guy's like literally the worst. Like, I don't know what he can do, but like he just can't do anything. He's just that bad. Another thing that was somewhat of a cliche was like, I could already tell, like I saw 80 miles away that these people were going to go into this dungeon and they were going to get fucking obliterated and murdered. Once I heard text along the lines of, I have a family and I gotta feed them somehow, and I also just got like a second daughter or a second kid, I gotta feed them somehow, you know what, everything's gonna be okay. I was like, yep, he's dead. But you know what, let's move on to the positives, right? So with the positive with this show, I do like the interesting idea or concept of this show, right? Because it wouldn't mix, it feels like fantasy mixing with the element of Monster Hunter crafting and then having it be in a more real life setting. Because it did make me tilt my head in a little bit of interest when I did see the concept of like people being out there and then looks like magical shit happening, and then you see modern day Marines attempting to do something where it looks like they can't really do much at all. And speaking about the first 5 minutes as well, the first 5 minutes definitely had me interested because of the choreography as well as the animation that was being shown when they were attacking all these fucking mutated super fantasy ants. And also did find the last part interesting, even though I did say it was like a little bit mid at the beginning. I was still interested in terms of like what is going to happen to these people. Are they actually going to survive, or are they actually going to get somewhat of a power up that's in that room, or do you have to do something with what they read inside of that room specifically? It also makes me curious to see how this Zero is going to turn to like a hero by the end of this, or see what's going to happen specifically. Oh yeah, and one last quick thing, one more thing, I haven't used that in a while. One more thing, right? So I don't know why, but it seems like every single anime is like low-key allergic to having a good coherent family. Like there's nothing like wrong with the family at all. Like we could just be like a modern day cool societal family. It always has to be some type of issue, like the father's gone or the mother's at a hospital or some shit like that. I always find that a little bit funny. But the first episode of Soul Leveling is not bad. I definitely want to come back and see what they have to offer per se, like after like what I'll probably make another video like 5-6 episodes, but I definitely want to come back, see 5-6 episodes and see what they really have to offer, what they really have to show and give, because it does seem a bit interesting on what they have so far. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe, get your chat in the comments. You guys can tell me how you guys feel about Solo Leveling, and if it's like, oh my god, it's the most peak fiction you ever seen in your life, or if it's just decent, or if it's a fun time. But other than that, I'll see you guys next one. Goodbye.